This is a very gruesome story, but it's a story I felt that needs to be shared. Um, because apparently, unfortunately, Thomas Valva does not have a voice right now. It reminds me of the case of Lisa Steinberg years ago growing up here in New York City. Thomas Valva died of hypothermia on January 17th, 2020, as we're driving to the house.
Head north toward Sunrise Highway South Service Road, then turn right onto Sunrise Highway South Service Road.
After spending the night,
turn right onto Wading River Road, then turn right onto Sunrise Highway South Service Road.
Of his father's garage.
Take the next right onto Sunrise Highway South Service Road.
And his father, well, he was a NYPD officer.
In 1,000
For
feet,
2 years,
keep right to stay on Sunrise Highway South Service Road.
Partial custody of his three children, Anthony, Thomas, and Andrew. In 2017,
keep right to stay on Sunrise Highway South Service Road.
Fought hard against the decision. She documented the bruises on her children's bodies, posting videos of their children saying that they weren't allowed to say that they missed her. The gruesome extent of the abuse that Thomas and his brothers allegedly endured.
In a quarter mile, keep right to stay on Sunrise Highway South Service Road.
Full display against Thomas Valva, 43. The former police officer and his ex-fiancée were accused of locking Thomas in their Long Island unheated garage and letting him freeze to death. There is Michael Valva's picture in court. He was convicted, by the way. Miss Paulina, which is Michael's ex-fiancée, reportedly sent videos of Thomas lying in the cold and freezing to Mr. Valva, who was on a shift that night. A local journalist, Lisa Finn, reported after the couple was indicted in 2020. When paramedics arrived the next morning, it was 19 degrees outside and they found Thomas naked. No blankets, and sweatpants pulled down to his knees. He died at the hospital, organ failure caused by hypothermia.
Take the next left onto
A teacher, Thomas's teacher, one of Thomas's former teachers, recalled giving snacks to the boy, who was so emaciated that he would eat crumbs off the school floor, and hoping that Miss Paulina wouldn't find out and retaliate against the children. The school's principal testified that the children often arrived at school with scratches on their faces, their cheeks, red and cold to the touch, covered in feces and urine. School officials, where the boys went to school, said that they flooded the CPS lines with reports of abuse, Child Protective Service. It was unclear, and here is the home where young Thomas died. The home was looks like it's empty when I was there. It looks like maybe taken over by the bank. There is Angela, and Michael Valva, their mugshots. Unreal. Animals. It's unclear why the children were not removed from the Valva house after the many alleged reports. But Thomas's mother, Justina, filed a wrongful death lawsuit against school and CPS workers, claiming that her desperate calls for help and their children's suffering were blatantly ignored. Thomas Valvo was emaciated before he died. They said that Thomas was so hungry and so often that the teacher decided to keep a journal every time that he asked for food. She often gave him snacks and sent him to the cafeteria, but would later face disapproval from Miss Polina, who allegedly said Thomas was manipulative and a liar. He was so skinny, the teacher said, that she could feel the bones in his body. In one instance, in court documents, papers, one of the school teachers recalled giving Thomas a pear and a cracker after he soiled his pants, which unleashed Miss Polina's rage. She was not happy with me, the teacher said. According to the 2020 indictment, it was reported that the children slept in a room that had no access to a bathroom. The garage was often referred to as the children's room. Anytime they soiled themselves, they were punished by being forced to sleep on the floor without blankets or pillows. There was a video apparently recorded of Thomas as he was shaking on the cold floor, with pleading eyes for someone to help him. Text messages around the time of Thomas's death also showed that Miss Polina allegedly sent the video of the boy to his father before going to bed and asking whether she should send him to school the next morning. The father allegedly answered, "F that piece of S, Thomas. He's not going anywhere." When paramedics arrived at the home, they found Thomas's lifeless body. He had only sweatpants on, which were pulled down below his knees. To try to bring his pulse back, the father, who was on the scene, he showed no emotion as they were trying to bring his son back to life. His body temperature was 76.1 degrees, and he died the same day at the hospital of organ failure. According to the 2020 indictment, Ms. Polina had been doing her hair when the paramedics arrived at the home, and only arrived at the hospital 45 minutes later. When the father, Mr. Valvo, was pressed on how he felt about the situation, he allegedly said he had been through more stressful circumstances. Truly a sad horror story. Now, I went here during the summertime, right as the case had broke, as you can see. Santa Maria is a quiet neighborhood 60 miles outside of New York City, probably more. Michael was convicted. He was sentenced to 25 years to life for murdering his son. Only 25 years to life. He was found guilty of second-degree murder. Rest in peace to Thomas Valvo.